Hey, you guys, and welcome to my channel. We are definitely going to be increasing our emotional maturity today. My goal today is for whoever to come and listen to this video, whoever was divinely guided to this video, you're going to learn something, or you're going to learn many things here. All right, because that is the, aim of my channel, just emptying my brain out, sharing my wisdom with you guys in order to help you reconnect or further connect with yourself. So I'm helping people do their shadow work. I'm helping you see different angles here. Okay? Because when I hear, I'm going to say 99.9%, when I hear people talk about empaths, is always on a positive light. And that's all fine and good. Those perspectives and, those aspects of being an empath, yes, that's true and correct, you guys. But there are some deeper things that I want to get into in this chat here so that, we'll have the fullest perspective of an empath, especially when we're looking at the root of how someone even became an empath, right? And what's going on subconsciously. So once I bring that subconscious aspects to your consciousness, if it's not already there, maybe you might hear this and be like, oh, I already knew that. And, maybe not. Either way, once we bring the subconscious to the conscious, we give ourselves the best chance to address things that we may consciously think is right to do, right? And we don't even know that, hey, wait a minute. I'm overstepping my bounds here. Or wait a minute, there are other options here that I'm not even considering as a chain reaction of always being this way. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. So the dark side of being an empath, you guys. All right. The reason why I needed to point this out is because nobody is perfect, not even an empath, you guys. And I have made several videos, which give me some time. Once I upload this, I will go back and connect those other videos and maybe even make a little playlist to where you can get some more information on managing being an empath, managing it, because it is a beautiful thing. It can be, right? But man, how many of empaths who may be in their toxic side of being an empath feel like it's a curse to be able to feel things so deeply? How many people feel like that's a curse? You may be like, oh yeah, people say it's a gift, but I feel like it has cursed my life. All right. So I want to, let's have like a little psychological session here and think about why you might feel that way. All right. So what typically happens, you guys, are how empaths are created. Yes, there are people who are naturally born who tend to be or have placements that make them extremely receptive to being able to feel people's energies, to tell what they are feeling a little bit more. Some people have that within them naturally. Yes, that happens. But empaths can also just be created out of necessity of needing to survive as well. Let's say we have a child, you guys, that is growing up in a household of adults that are abusive and neglectful, unpredictable, especially. Or, at least that's how it feels to the child. Like they don't know what type of day they're going to have with that parent or that caretaker. So when you grow up around a lot of confusion and unpredictability as a child, you have to learn how to read in between the lines. You have to learn how to feel what's going on in an atmosphere, especially and particularly what's wrong. Not what's right, which often wasn't much, right? But you had to become very good or at least you felt like you needed to become, very good at figuring out who's happy, who's not, and why. And particularly who's not happy and why. And then once you were figuring that out as a child, you wanted to make it right in the best way that you could or knew how to, with whatever tools and understanding you had at that time. So if you spend your whole childhood, this can be minimally, it's up until 18, because then technically you're an adult. But some people may be exposed to that even further. If you didn't leave the house at 18 or you were still around those primary caretakers, that's a lot of embedding into your subconsciousness and, basically your socializing skills and how you behave, you guys, right? To be trained and almost like a knee-jerk reaction, like to be trying to basically people please at that point. That's how people can become a people pleaser. There was a reward for that as a child, or at least it seemed like it made the situation better. And then this is also where people are learning to parent and non-parenting relationships. Because as a child, you felt like you had to be the parent because you're the one trying to find these solutions. You're the one trying to fix things. You're the one who had to take the baton. Be the bigger person. Be sacrificial. You're the one that was, attempting or being the nurturing one, the caretaker. So that's a long time, you guys. And then these type of attributes, they start to play out in our other relationships. And then energetically, you're going to attract people who remind you of that same energy because you're still carrying it with you. You're still in it. That is so real, you guys. That is so real. That energy, until you heal it, until you become conscious of it, because you're subconsciously acting on it until you, like I said, become conscious of it. So you're going to attract people that want to be parented, people that want to be taken care of. You will attract an abundance of people with problems. Because energy recognizes energy. And subconsciously that's going on. And this is how you can keep attracting the same prototype type of person, just in a different name, different age, maybe live here, you know what I mean? But energetically, it's still the same BS, or it's still the same situation, right? So one of the dark sides of basically being that empath is understanding that it's more protective than anything. And someone might say, well, what's wrong with trying to protect yourself? Nothing, absolutely nothing. But with all things, we do need balance, right? So if I'm just moving out of that protective energy, what am I more inclined to be looking for? Danger. I'm more inclined to be looking for danger and things that are going wrong. And if I'm focused on that, and I call this tunnel vision, you hear me use that word a lot in my videos. If I'm focused on that, I may not be then having a lot of attention span at that point left over to be focusing on the people who actually aren't dangerous. All right. And then not only that, people talk about the law of attraction, but before that comes vibrating. You have to vibrate on the level of what you want to attract. So if I'm vibrating on, oh, I just got to protect me. Oh, who's going to hurt me next? Or wait, are they safe? Is this? Then you're energetically vibrating to attract more dangerous, if you will, situations. And it's not just physically dangerous, because as a child, of course, there could have been physical sexual abuse, but emotional and psychologically dangerous as well, financially dangerous as well. All the levels of abuse here. So let's not be one-dimensional, okay? But yes, this was for protection. And then, like I said, feeling obligated to balance things out. So now you're taking responsibility, and that's rooted in soothing your inner child, because it's triggering that inner child. Like, I want to make things right so I can feel safe. I want to make things right so I can, now they can focus on loving me. I could feel more accepted, because the problem isn't there. It's not taking attention away from me, right? Then we're overgiving and overextending, just as you were as a child, because a child should not have to do that. A child should be allowed to be a child, just like a girlfriend should just be allowed to be a girlfriend. A boyfriend should just be allowed to be a boyfriend. A friend should just be allowed to be a friend, and so forth and so on. But we're used to wearing all these different hats. So we're taking on too much responsibility, because we'll feel off internally if we're not balancing a situation by actually further and balancing ourselves. So we're trying to bring balance into other people's lives while imbalancing ourselves at the same time. So that's not going to work out too well. And empaths, I'm going to say this, sometimes it's just none of your business. I don't care if you met someone and you find out they got this and that going on. Does it mean that you have to take it on? It doesn't. So sometimes it could actually lead to you overstepping other people's boundaries, because now you may be trying to help people that don't even want to be helped. And even if they want to be helped, it doesn't mean that you're the one to do so, or you're the one assigned to do that. But this is something else I'm going to have to point out here. An empath can actually idealize themselves. So it's like a somewhat of a self-righteous energy that's going to come along with that. And it sucks you, or it keeps you stuck in a cycle of trying to force your help on people. This is how you can stay in a lose-lose situation, being this sacrificial lamb, trying to help someone that clearly feels like they're thriving in their negativity, don't want to change. They're not in that place or readiness of wanting to hear you out, or wanting to take your advice, or wanting better for themselves. And then it's just not your assignment. It's not your assignment. It's not your assignment at that point. It's not your assignment, you guys. For those of you who are doing this. All right. And then you're wondering why you feel drained, because your energy is being spread too thin. It's going in places where it shouldn't be, because, when you're giving your energy correctly, it's some type of reciprocation there. And we're not talking about children here, but yes, the reciprocation comes there too, generally speaking. Okay. Let's not, my mind is I see so many angles. Like I try to keep my statements a little, general here. Because sometimes you give a child the world and they grow up and they give you their butt to kiss. Okay? But we ain't talking about that. We're not talking about that. But we're talking about adults here. Okay? But yeah, it could even be with your adult child. I'll say that too. But just understanding the balance here that needs to be had. If you're one of those people and you feel like yourself, right? I was just trying to help them. They didn't want your help though. So don't overstep your bounds. And it's overstepping their bounds at that point. It's overstepping spirit's bound too. Because God isn't calling you to do that. He's not going to call you to be wasting your time, hitting your head up against the wall, draining and depleting yourself. He wants that energy for things that are going to uplift you. And we have to learn how to put ourselves into situations that can reciprocate. Life ain't about making it hard. That's the other thing. You know, when people have to always try to be protecting themselves on the highest of level, they've been trained at some point that things are hard. No. Yeah, you may have to work hard sometimes in life. You may have to give it effort, try, have a plan, but it should not be something that's draining you. Just use your common sense and your discernment at that point. It should not be hard for me to love you. And that's a whole nother video that I'm going to make separately because I don't want to mix my messages here. I want to just focus on, the dark side of being an empath. Well, I'm going to, as a matter of fact, probably upload a video right after this to give you a new approach to quote unquote love. I'm going to give you a really good way to think about that you're probably not doing right now. Okay. So please look out for that. All right. But yes, you aren't responsible for everyone. All right. You don't have to work to be understood. You could just accept, hey, they don't understand me. They don't get me. Okay. I put in a reasonable, it doesn't have to be this thing where you're draining one person, a group of people to get you to understand you, to accept you. What's yours is yours. Your soul tribe is your soul tribe. The people assigned to you are the people assigned to you. Just like the people that are assigned to try to bring you down. Okay. You don't have to give them access. We can learn how to go with the flow instead of being in resistance. We're trying to force because we wanted to manipulate things as a child to get what we needed, to get our needs met. Because we were vulnerable. But as adults, we can allow people to be independent. We can agree to disagree. I can be just conscious and accepting of the fact that we're not equally yoked, or this does not work for me, or, I feel there's a better match. I'm okay with that. It's okay if you don't like me. It's okay if you don't like how my hair is. It's okay if you don't like my body. It's okay if you don't like my interests. It's okay if you don't like what I do with a living. It's okay if you don't like how I parent. It's okay if you don't like the foods that I like. It's okay if you don't believe what I believe. We are independent. But, when empaths are rooted in this protecting and this parenting as children, this is clearly codependency. But as you heal from that, you begin to see the other options. And that's the liberating part right there. And that's you just saying, oh, okay, it's seeing a problem and staying detached from it. It's seeing a problem and letting someone else deal with it. It's seeing a problem, still being able to have empathy, but not overextending myself. Or I can feel for your situation without involving myself in your situation, right? But because it was all on you as a child, you might feel inclined, oh, I got to help this person. Oh, I got to take this on. Oh, I got to abandon my whole schedule, turn my world upside down because you were used to doing this at some point in your life as a child, chances are. So I really wanted to make this video, you guys, to point these things out. I hope that it has given someone some deep insight into their own thought processes, right? Which is going to affect how you behave. And we can start working on these things. I do offer coaching, you guys. You can go to my website, lakiacrawford.com. I help people heal from codependency. I help people see the patterns and behaviors that are holding them back. I give them new ways to look at life, new ways to look at situations that are empowering them, that are breaking them out of these bondages and these strongholds. And I can help you do the same. I have close to 1,000 videos on this channel as well to help you increase your emotional maturity. Because life is nothing but relationships, you guys. With everything. You have a relationship with your car, relationship with your work and career, relationship with your family and friends, relationship with your mailman. It's all relationships with food, relationships with everything, relationship with money. You see what I'm saying? There's just all about relationships and having a delicate balance. And that's going to be a whole nother video. A whole other video, because I have a lot to share on that as well. But I love you guys. And, I just want to see you guys winning. I said this in my last video. I said survivor so much on this channel. And yes, that is a step. We're going to survive. But I want you guys thriving. 2022 is for thriving, you guys. Shoot, 2021. We could start right now, baby. Thriving. I want you guys to go from surviving to thriving. And some of you may not even be surviving. And this is where a video like this really hits home. All right. So I want to thank you guys for all the support that you give the channel. Always make sure that you like my videos, especially if you like this content. It puts energy behind it. It helps other people get to see it. That's how YouTube knows what videos to push. Are people liking it? Are people watching it? Are people commenting? Okay, we'll push it a little more. Oh, we'll push it a lot. So help grow this channel. It's going to bless other people's lives just as it blesses you. And it's beautiful YouTube etiquette. You come through somebody's channel, they're putting energy, they're sending you massive positive vibes, which I certainly am. Okay, hit a like, leave a comment, share the videos. Awesome. So thank you guys for all of that support. And until the next video, never ever give up on yourself. Continue to do the work. It's not about becoming perfect, but it's just becoming better. It's just becoming better. All right. And until next time, please stay safe and definitely take care.